Oh, 4-1 and in a wonderful mood. What's up?
I love that. I love that happy introduction.
Got Cleveland Stadium in the background here.
Yeah, Cleveland Municipal Stadium. What a place! I've been there. I watched a game there with you, Ben Roethlisberger.
No, I don't think it's
screaming at Santonio
Stadium.
Holmes the whole game. Remember?
Yeah, I don't think it's Municipal Stadium anymore. That's like really old. It's Progressive Stadium.
Oh, the insurance, right?
And they're trying to get $2 billion out of the Haslams in the city to build this monstrosity, which is not going to be by the lake. It's actually going to be a little bit more downtown.
Really? Maybe a little less windy, a little less frigid.
Yeah, exactly. The lake effect, wind and rain and snow. But it'll still be there. It's still Cleveland.
I can't say that home field advantage has helped your franchise all that much.
All right, everybody. We're into the middle of October here. It's week 7 coming up. We got a couple more weeks to join Megabucks New York and Megabucks South. Still open. We'll probably get the late rush. Haven't heard from Darren yet, but I'm sure my Venmo will be popping in a couple weeks with Sammy Dog and whoever else's other team is.
Oh yeah, he's gonna jump in. He's alive with the Dodgers now for I don't even know how many tens of thousands if they win the World Series in these parlays.
Really?
Oh yeah.
But it was a good week for us last week. We finally got to we were a field goal away from in the Saints game going 5-0, but really solid week, and kind of feel like we figured it out. Like we said on the text string, we figured out the league. Now we're going to go
finally
every week, right?
Finally figured it out. I think we go 5-0 this week, actually, as long as we trust the data and take ourselves out of the equation.
Well, I disagree with that. I mean, you've always got to, it's like giving the world over to AI. I mean, you've got to have some human oversight here.
Not really AI. You got to trust the data. You got to trust how these teams perform in these spots historically and how these players and coaches respond a lot to the schedule. And a lot of that stuff is real.
Yeah. Okay. Let's dive right in, shall we?
Sure.
Starting off with your Pittsburgh Steelers and an AFC North battle tomorrow night. Steelers, Bengals. You guys are laying 5.5. You want to kick us off on this one?
Yeah, I just thought it'd be interesting once again to harp on the fact that this has been a really tough year for bettors. I mean, this is the worst against the spread mark again for public bettors in the last 23 years. So if you're out there and you're losing units and you're losing money, you're not alone.
Wow, I couldn't think of a better reason to be playing at wannamakabet.com than what you just said right there.
That's right. And that's why we do it. And that's why we created the game. And that's why it's so much fun, because it's obviously glorious when you win units and you win your bets, but you never wake up Tuesday morning or Monday morning owing anybody any money.
It's great. All right, keep going.
So, I have a lot to say about this game. But I will just say this to bettors: just hang in there. I think, eventually the tides will turn for the public. But right now, the casinos and the bookmakers are having a field day with your money.
Yeah.
Steelers
5.5, too many to lay in this game for your Steelers?
I think it is. And I got to be honest with you. I like Cincinnati in this. I already bet them at 5.5. I put touched a small piece on the money line, and I hate betting against my own team. But the fact is that, the Steelers have struggled on Thursday Night Football. Tomlin is 2-8 straight up and 3-8 against the spread. They've lost 4 straight games straight up and against the spread in this spot on Thursday night on the road. So
is that right? Wow.
Yes. So it's really, and even if you look at it on short rest, the Steelers are 3-6 straight up and against the spread in those games. So this is kind of a really tough spot. This is the time to go against Pittsburgh, and I think they're going to have a hard time dealing with Flacco. I don't know if you saw Tomlin. He came out publicly and basically questioned the general manager in Cleveland for making an in-season trade of a quarterback that they felt strong enough to start an opening day to a team in their own division. So I don't know if that works against him, but he's certainly not happy about the fact that, Cleveland just turned around and handed Joe Flacco to Cincinnati to keep them in this race until Burrow comes back. That's neither here nor there. As a favorite of 4 more points, Tomlin is 13-26-1 since 2017. That's the least profitable coach in the National Football League. I'm on Cincinnati.
It's funny that Tomlin had something to say about that trade only as it affected the Steelers, but nothing about like why would Cleveland do that? It was like, well, why would you trade him to Cincinnati when we have to play Cincinnati, right?
No, he said it actually before last week's game, but I'm sure he looks at the schedule and he just thought it was weird to have. You don't normally see in season trades interdivision, especially with starting quarterbacks. I mean, it is kind of unique. I honestly can't remember the last time I ever even seen it in any division, So, I mean, he's got something to stand on there. It is kind of strange. I don't know what you got back for Flacco. Probably a 6th round pick and a bag of balls. I don't even know, but
it is
a little bizarre.
Favorable. We unloaded whatever $900,000 on his contract. I think we got we got a 5th round for a 6th round.
Okay.
It wasn't, it was nothing. It was just a swap of trades and dumped his contract.
Well, you got Shedeur there, right? So you eventually you're going to get Shedeur in a game here, especially if Gabriel continues to lose games.
Yeah, maybe. It's funny. I'm not exactly rushing to bet Cincinnati the way that you are. And I've been quite impressed with Pittsburgh the last 2 weeks. Now, granted, you played us and we have arguably the worst offense in the NFL. But I do think that you caught us, in a horrible travel disadvantage coming back from London. Man, I didn't think it was going to be as bad as it was, but I watched the game over again, and man, the defense just had no life at all, no hustle. They were not like, I couldn't believe Aaron Rodgers was just how much time he had. There was no pass rush, and then of course, your defense has been playing a lot better the last 2 weeks. So. Dylan Gabriel struggles again. And that said, it was 9-3 at the end of the half. And, we come out, I think we got the ball first in the second half, and we marched down the field, and the ineptitude showed its face again. Like we got a pass interference call in the end zone, and we had the ball 1st and goal on the 3-yard line and did not score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Had to kick another field goal. And I don't know if we made that field goal, or maybe the score was
I think you did. You made it 9.
Yeah, well, maybe the score was 12-3 at that point, or you would score a touchdown on your first possession, but we needed a touchdown there. And there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and we didn't get it. Judkins continues to run hard. Jerry Jeudy's dropping passes again. He's also hurt. But I know we're talking Steelers. I just think, look, there's reason to believe that Cincy will be in this game based on the way they played the last 2 weeks. I mean, we talked about it last week on the pod. They almost covered against Detroit at home. They almost backdoored it. They did easily covered against the Packers.
No doubt.
And what's interesting about Flacco is that I think he's got the lowest number of sacks. He's among the highest in the league at avoiding the sack. I mean, I don't know why someone like Justin Fields doesn't just sit down and watch tape of Flacco. The guy gets rid of the ball. I mean, he's going to get rid of the ball no matter what.
Yeah.
And so there is something to be said about this being a division game, them getting this many points at home, premier Thursday night. Is there a rest advantage for Cincy?
No, it's a short week for the Steelers. It's always tough to go on the road, I think, in these Thursday games. I always think that the home team, especially in a division game, has the advantage in this spot. Underdogs have been really good at night. I don't know if you noticed Monday night, both underdogs won the game. So this is, I just think this is a dangerous spot for the Steelers. I know that offensive line, I mentioned it to you last week, that they are coming off the best game they've ever played as a unit together. Obviously, last week, Broderick Jones dominated Myles Garrett, which you never would have ever thought could have happened. But Myles Garrett, I think, maybe had 1 tackle the entire game, no pressures, no sacks. And I know it's a unit thing, but the offensive line to keep Rodgers clean and upright for that much of the game gives us a chance to win games, because he's not going to throw a lot of interceptions to begin with. I mean, that's just the way he's played his whole career. So you need to get sacks on him. I don't know if Hendrickson can do it. I just think it's too much wood to chop on the road on a short week based on the history of Tomlin with his teams in this spot. They have not been good.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about it. I could maybe be talked into it, but there's something something about the way Pittsburgh playing the last 2 weeks that doesn't make me want to go and bet against them right now. And granted, I mean, they play. Who'd you play before us?
We had a bye.
Oh, okay. Well, what was the game?
We
before
came
that?
in
Was
rested, and you came in from Europe. So yeah, it was a big difference. I mean,
Yeah,
it definitely
huge.
was. And I'll tell you, they resodded the entire Heinz Field. It was a disaster. The field was the worst they've ever seen it. I don't know if you saw Boswell try to field goal. Like literally 2 yards of turf came up under his foot, and he fell down when he kept.
Yeah.
Unacceptable. So Rooney said, first thing Monday morning, they stripped the whole field out and put new turf in.
Okay, let's talk. I could maybe be, I don't know. I could maybe be talked into Cincy, but let's see what else we come up with. All right, let's move on to the next London game, which Cappy will be attending.
That's so cool.
Jags.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, I know. I'm jealous.
Captain
going to see a game in Europe. That's pretty cool.
That guy Rams, just puddle jumping around the world on jets. It's amazing.
Big travel disadvantage. Rest travel disadvantage for the Rams. They were in Baltimore last week. They are laying 3. I mean, my first gut when I saw this is that I love the Rams, but I don't feel as good about it. The more I think about it, I definitely think the Jags are overrated, and they, we were right about them last week taking Seattle. I kind of feel like if Seattle can beat these guys, no problem, then definitely so can the Rams. But at the same time, I kind of feel like Seattle's a little bit better than the Rams, and I also think Stafford, he hasn't looked that great the last couple of weeks. I mean, they should have dominated Baltimore, but
Nakua was hurt in the first half. He barely came back. So
and that's the other big thing with this is like his status. Yeah, his status is critical if we're gonna be backing them. And right now, I don't know if he practiced today. Let me just check. I mean, what do you think of this game?
I absolutely love the Rams. I already locked it in at 3. I think there's a lot here to be said for them. You bring up that travel disadvantage. The exact opposite is true. So the Rams will be the 14th favorite to enter an international game coming off a true road game. Those teams are 13-1 straight up and 11-3 against the spread.
Wow. Okay.
So that does not hurt those teams. It actually helps them. The other thing is McVay. He's been over there twice. He's 2-0 straight up and against the spread, and he's won those games 57-10. I think Jacksonville is overvalued. I think they're living on their defense that's been taking the ball away. And if you can have sort of the offense that Stafford and McVay have, where you don't see a lot of turnovers. And I do understand Kyron Williams, that one game against San Fran, fumbled the ball. But for the most part, they played a pretty clean game in Baltimore. I think they'll play a clean game here. And I just think they're too good for Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's doing this from a personnel standpoint with a little smoke and mirrors and some good coaching. And I think they've had some good fortune in creating these turnovers. I just think, based on those stats alone, I like the Rams.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you. Let me ask you this. Let's say we had to lay 3.5 and Nakua is not playing. You still like him?
At that point, it'd probably be a skip for me. I mean, if Nakua is not playing, but I already locked in 3, so I don't know why it would go to 3.5. If anything, I think it may go down, right? Because Jacksonville is perceived as like a home team when they play over there.
It's 2.5 in our contest. We almost have to take it.
Oh, I love the Rams. I mean, my God. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think we're on the same page there. That was my initial. It was just like, Jags are overrated. And Jags, again, they've been getting, they're overrated because their turnovers are kind of fluky. They didn't other teams turn the ball over against them. It's not necessarily that they take it away.
I mean, Mahomes threw that ball right to the guy on the 1 yard line. You'll never see that again. It's like
right. And I also I'm feeling like I know the Jags. Like I bet on them against the Chiefs, and I bet against them last week, and I kind of feel like this is another week where they're just starting to come back down to earth a little bit. All right, I think we both like the Rams. Let's move on.
Yeah.
To Raiders Chiefs. Boy, do the Chiefs look good. I don't know if they're 12 points better than the Raiders after they lost to them last year, right, in the similar spot. But my God, the Raiders are terrible. Geno's awful. And the Chiefs offense looks so good right now. They're getting Rice back. Worthy's already back. Mahomes is looks like an MVP again. They're suddenly, I was talking with Brad, to me, they're among the best teams in the AFC. Not that I didn't think that they would get back to this. I just didn't think they'd get back to looking this good this early. But yeah, I think they can blow these guys out. But I'm not going to lay 12. What do you think?
I absolutely love the Raiders. First of all, the Raiders one end covered for me easily last week. It was a second half no brainer. Tennessee stinks.
Yeah.
We knew they would stink. Geno straightened it out. Gentry got in the end zone. The defense played better. I absolutely love the Raiders here. First of all, the Chiefs have lost 3 straight games against the spread to the Raiders. So as a favorite of 6 or more points, Mahomes is really, really good. He's 62-6 straight up in his career. He's 9-0 straight up, but only 7-1 against the spread over the last 2 seasons. So when he lays a big number, he's not covering it. And we know this about the Chiefs. I don't know how many times we've had this discussion on this show. When the Chiefs are laying too many points, you don't take them, and they just don't cover. And that's the way Mahomes has been. But here, this is, I think, even the most interesting stat is, as a favorite of 11 or more, Mahomes is 6-12 against the spread in his career, including 2-9 against the spread in his last 11 games, being that big of a favorite. His last 2 games as a favorite were both versus the Raiders, and he has lost both those games outright.
Yeah.
I love.
So you're not concerned about the Raiders, like if Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers don't play?
I don't think any of it matters with the personnel. I just think Mahomes has a thing against the Raiders. He doesn't do well. He's 4-12-1 against the spread in his own division. That is the worst mark in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes. He does not cover spreads against his own division. He's horrible at it. And when he's laying a number like this, sometimes against this team, he loses the game outright and knocks people out of Survivor. We're going to be on this game no matter what, because everyone's going to be on the Chiefs.
Wow.
I mean, this is going to be the gangbang game of the week without question. So
I think you're right.
I've already bet the Raiders. I like them, and I threw a small money line in there just in case plus 560 they're able to pull off this kind of a win that they've won before in that building.
Okay, wow, it's a ballsy pick, but to your point, I think the data may just take us there as the anti-survivor play of the week, and I agree. I looked at all the games, and it's pretty much. And there hasn't been a game yet where everybody was on the Chiefs. So
nobody's used the Chiefs. This is
going to be the top play of the week for sure.
Yeah. And just one more data point before we move on. Pete Carroll, okay, in his career coaching with the Seahawks and the Patriots, Pete Carroll is 13-1 straight up and 11-3 against the spread when he has a bye coming up and his opponent doesn't. Interesting data point. Again, supports my pick. I think 12 is a ton of points in this game. Too many, way too many.
I like the conviction. Let's move on to Cleveland Browns hosting Miami, laying 2.5. You know what?
What do you think?
I think we're going to win the game. And I don't know if you have data on this, but the Cleveland Browns defense in Cleveland is so good. They're kind of like the Packers. They just play incredible. And in my mind, in the big picture, I think that's ultimately going to crack if our offense doesn't get going. And I don't really see our offense too many promising signs from our offense. But Dylan Gabriel is playing his first home game, and he has had 2 of the. I mean, think about how he had to get his career started. He has to go to London and play the Vikings, and then next week go to Pittsburgh and play.
Very tough.
Two of the toughest, situations to play in, 2 of the toughest defenses in the league.
Yeah.
And here he gets a total cupcake of a defense. I think he's gonna show out. I think he's gonna sort of remind all the people in Ohio who are suddenly like, "What the hell are we doing here?" We want to see. We want to see the next quarterback to maybe actually he's okay. Now it's important to find out what's going on with Judy, even though he tends to drop the ball. He is kind of our number 1 receiver, and Njoku's also hurt. I love Fanning from Bowling Green. He's looks like he's going to be very good. He was great in college. He was a freak.
He's been good for the Browns, but
No,
the
he's been
Browns are
great.
favored in this game by 3.
Yeah, we're favored, and I don't think we'll be favored again the entire year. We're laying 2.5 points. Kicking game has looked good. I just think Miami has, I don't want to say they quit, but they haven't looked good. They had a terrible loss against Carolina. They had a terrible loss last week against, who they lose to last week? I forget.
Last week, Miami. I thought they played Carolina last week, didn't they?
No, that was Dallas who beat.
Oh, that's right. I think Miami had a bye last week. Miami had a bye.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I have a different take on this game than you. I don't know how anybody could like Cleveland. Like,
yeah,
they score 18 or less points in every game they've played. That's the lowest in the NFL. They are 6-19 against the spread since last year. That's the second worst mark, only behind the Titans. And they're laying points. I absolutely love Miami. Cleveland has gone 11 consecutive games without scoring 18 or more points. Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins are 4-1 straight up when he faces a rookie quarterback. This is the 6th rookie quarterback McDaniel will face.
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting 3. I'm just going to take the 3. I'm not going to say that Miami's going to win the game, although I will have some money line action on it as well, because until Cleveland shows me that they can actually score some points, unless you think they're going to keep this game under 18 and win this game 17-16 or 17-10 or whatever score you want to give the Browns 17 and Miami has less than that, that's the only way they're going to win this game. And I just think that with Waddle there and with Achane, who's really quick out of the backfield, I think Miami's going to score more than 17 points. I don't see how you're going to beat them. I don't.
I think it's just like the way I look at it, it's a very favorable matchup because they have the dead last worst defense in the league, according to DVOA, ranked 32nd. And our offense is ranked
worse
31st.
Than Dallas? It's hard to believe.
So I'm saying our offense is 31st and their defense is 32nd.
Mm-hmm.
But our defense is ranked 11th. And that's where, again, I think that's where we're going to win this game. We're going to get turnovers. Miles is going to get sacks.
So it's Cleveland on the under, basically. You think it's Cleveland. You're going to prevent Miami from scoring enough. You're even if you score 17 points, you're going to win the game. And that's what you have to believe if you like Cleveland. There's no way this game's a shootout. No 100%. Way this game's a shootout.
Yeah, no doubt in my mind. We're not going to.
I don't know. I think
tight ends and short passes and Judkins and field position and
Judkins is hurt.
No.
And I'll tell you who's been really emerging for Miami is Waller. He gives them and you picked him up in fantasy, and that was the greatest pickup of the year, maybe other than Rico Dowdle by you. But Waller
he's also banged up, by the way. And by the way, you're wrong about Judkins. He has no status whatsoever. And Waller,
I thought you told me at the beginning of this podcast you said Judkins was hurt when you were talking about the Steeler game.
I said Judy.
Oh, you said Judy was dropping balls, I thought.
Either way, Judy is banged up. Judy basically he did practice today. He was limited, but for Miami, Waller, and I'm not saying he's not going to play, but he's questionable and he was limited. Okay, he practiced today, but he was limited, but he's got a hip. He'll probably play.
Let me just say this. Number one, I love that you love Cleveland and I already bet Miami. That makes me feel really good about my bet. Number two, there's no way that we're agreeing on this game. So let's just move on to the next game. I'm not taking
Okay. New England, Tennessee. New England's laying 7 points on the road. This is the Mike Vrabel return to Tennessee game.
Yes.
Callahan was obviously fired this week. So, I mean, I'll say this about Tennessee. After them firing the coach, would you downgrade or upgrade them?
You have to upgrade them. He was the worst coach in the league.
Right.
But
now
this game is, I don't know.
Worse?
You could say what you want about this game. To me, this game is just a complete skip. I'm not laying 7 points on the road. I love Drake May. He's one of my fantasy guys. He's been tremendous. But this is, I think, a lot of points, and I certainly would never take Tennessee. So you guys out there, if you want to play with this thing and the coaching matchup and whatever you want to do, go right ahead. I'm out of this one. I have no opinion on the game and no interest in watching it, honestly, other than hopefully it's a shootout and Drake May throws 4 touchdown passes for me. That's where it ends for me on this game.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Let's skip it. I think it may be a little bit of a dead cat bounce with just getting the cancer out, and maybe the Tennessees do something, but they're horrible. All right, Saints Bears. I like this game. Saints getting 5 in Chicago.
5.5 I got today.
Oh, okay, it's contest line. Actually, I'm curious. What data do you have on this game?
I mean, listen, from a
5.5.
data standpoint, I absolutely love the Saints. I mean, listen, I had the Bears Monday night. I thought I missed hitting the 14 parlay because I had over 49.5 and the game ended at 49. I don't know if you saw that. You might have been in bed. So that one hurt me. Yeah. And there was a missed field goal earlier in the game by Washington that killed me on it. But the data says here, the Bears have played 4 games on short rest with Caleb Williams. Like they are this week against the Saints. They're 0-4 straight up in those games, and they've averaged 15 points in those matchups. Caleb is the only quarterback 0-4 straight up or worse on short rest the last 2 seasons. Doesn't play well on short rest. Rattler, like you said, has been better. I mean, listen, the Saints have been competitive. You were onto it kind of early on the podcast that even when they were losing, they kind of showed you some things, and you like the way Rattler throws the ball. He throws a nice clean ball. And let me tell you, they got Taysom Hill back, and he's now taking basically shotgun snaps and running the ball right in out of a wildcat. Scored a touchdown last week on that. So he's a weapon. The Saints, you probably don't know this, and I didn't either, but the Saints have beaten the Bears 8 consecutive times.
Wow.
Since 2008. So I have the Saints here plus 5.5, and I have them in a money line bet because how can you not ride a streak like that?
Yeah, I like it. I like that the data supports the way that I'm thinking, which is first saw this line, I was like, wow, that's too many. The Bears just live on the fucking edge every week. And I bet you they're going to do it again this week too. I bet it's going to be like, the Caleb Williams, like mess of a game that he likes to play and scramble and run or get sacked and throwing inaccurate balls. I also think that I just want to double check on their injury status because I think Moore was
he was hurt on the sideline. Yeah, you're right.
He actually went to the hospital.
Oh God.
I don't know what his status is. It's head coach nursing a groin injury. Okay. He was hospitalized. It's weird.
Oh my God. Internal bleeding. We got a bleeder.
Overnight. He spent the night in the hospital. Anyway, I'm a little nervous about backing Spencer on the road here, but I just kind of feel like everything you said, plus the way that my gut tells me this is going to play out, is that it's going to be another sort of ugly Chicago game that they win 21-20 with a field goal at the end. You know what I mean? If they win at all. Right. But I could see them losing, and I think I like the points and I like the money line also. I like the Saints.
Yeah, me too. That's another one of our picks. We're both on the Saints. So far we got Rams and Saints.
Love it. All right, let's go to Philly, Minnesota. Really interested in watching this game. I still think something's wrong with the Eagles. Nothing's changed for me, and
I don't think I have that.
I don't know. Right away when I saw this the first time, I said I liked Minnesota. I'm going to continue riding this anti-Philly, sentiment for now, and I don't know how long it'll last. But until they show me that they're going to break out of this funk, with AJ Brown and the discontent and maybe a Saquon injury, and I think Jalen Hurts is not playing well. He's throwing inaccurate balls. I've never liked Sirianni, and the defense seems like totally suspect. And it's just like my biggest question in this game is can Wentz do it again? And I actually, so he's hurt, and JJ McCarthy. And so I was like, I like Minnesota unless McCarthy starts. If McCarthy starts, I suddenly don't like them as much because I really feel like he played a really good game. And granted it was Cleveland and it was in London. And by the way, they're coming off a bye also, so they have additional rest. Philly had that ugly loss to so they have somewhat of an extended rest, right? They played Thursday night.
Yep, they lost the Giants in embarrassing fashion on national television.
Yeah, but I think again, I think something's wrong. I still think it's wrong. My biggest question here is like, can Wentz do it? And if it's going to be Wentz, so we'll wait and see. But if he starts, I like them.
I'm not taking Minnesota. I'm not taking
Okay.
Philly or Minnesota. This game's a skip to me. There's no data there to support it. I agree with you that Philly, something is wrong in Philly, that they don't necessarily bounce back from games like this. But I don't really trust O'Connell in this spot. The numbers weren't there to favor him like this. I mean, he was something like 7-15-1 or something against the spread off a situation like this. And he's got a quarterback issue there. I know that they're going to be rested. Gun to my head, if I had to do it, I would take Minnesota plus 1.5 at home.
Yeah.
Regardless of who the quarterback is, it doesn't really matter to me. I actually have a higher opinion of McCarthy than you do, but either way, I don't want this to be in our top 5. If we have to resort to taking Minnesota at home in this game, then I don't know if we've done our best work here.
Okay, it's fair. I just think something's wrong with Philly, and I could just see again Jefferson, Addison, Jefferson. Like it's just
no question, dude. Listen, Philly's defense is in trouble. I mean, look what the Giants did to him, and Scatterboo ran all over him. So, I mean, Minnesota at home off extended rest wouldn't surprise me if they won the game, and getting 1.5. I mean, even if they lose a squeaker, you may still cover.
Yep. Okay. New York Jets have not won a game this season. Are they going to win this week against our darling Carolina Panthers? I think Carolina is more than 1 point better than the Jets. I saw this and I was like, oh, I don't have to lay 3. And especially the fact that Wilson's out. I mean, who in God's name is he going to throw the ball to? And then you read the post and you listen to the fan this week, and they've like decided that Justin Fields has to like be more aggressive. Like he hasn't been aggressive enough. Maybe, but he also on 4th down didn't throw the ball.
He didn't even throw it.
He didn't even throw it. I mean, throw it up, Justin. Just throw it up. Even if if it gets intercepted or no one's there, you have to get rid of the ball.
Yeah. There was so much wrong about the Jets' performance in London. I mean, they set offenses back 100 years. I mean, they had negative 10 yards passing. I've never ever seen a stat like that in my life. Aaron Glenn at the end of the half worked the ball inside on the plus side of the territory, had time, didn't call a timeout, didn't call a play, didn't call a Hail Mary, didn't do anything.
I was watching it. I thought right in that moment, this guy cannot coach.
Yeah, no, he's struggling as a first-year coach, and obviously that comes to the territory of never coaching before. And that's what happens when you hire a coach with no experience. Sometimes you get stuff like this. People in New York were clamoring for Pete Carroll to be hired. At least somebody who's done it. You bring someone in who's done it, and maybe the wins and losses aren't there, but at least you have a guy that's competent and knows, isn't doing this for the first time, which is what Aaron Glenn is doing. Aaron Glenn was a great Jet. He gets a lot of respect from the fan base, and he should. He was a great player, one of their better players that they've had, and he's just learning on the job. And listen, I watched the game reluctantly because it was just so. And I had Denver, so and
I had the Jets,
and they covered. And I had Denver in the teaser, the Bo Nix thing, and Bo Nix is yet to lose a game in a 6-point teaser as a favorite. Another reason why I like them this week when we get to it, but. Fields had guys open. Garrett Wilson was open more than 2 times on that outplay. He just held the ball too long. You have to, the minute the guy goes in the cut, you got to be throwing the ball. He holds the ball till the guy's almost at the sideline, then he throws it.
Yeah.
His timing is off. He's not trusting himself. And I've seen Justin play. Justin has the ability when the pocket breaks down to run and to make throws on the run and to make plays. He is in his own head. And maybe Denver had something to do with it. They have some ferocious defense. I mean, they sacked him 9 times. I mean, part of that is him holding the ball, and the other part is Denver's damn good. And when you look downfield, the Jets have no receivers to get separation. And I spoke to my boy Dave Rosie about this after week 1. He's like, Cello, we don't have anybody who can get open. I go, what about Garrett Wilson? He goes, he doesn't even get open half the time. There's no one open.
He can get open, and
there's no one open. He's not, Garrett Wilson is treated like an elite receiver, like a Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb, or these guys that literally can make a double move and they're open on every play. In my game, that would be Todd. He runs just a 10-yard option route. He either fakes in and goes out or fakes out and goes in. He's literally open every time. I could throw it to him every time. Garrett Wilson is not that player. So here's the one stat that would scare me about Carolina. Carolina, Bryce Young is 1-15 straight up on the road as a starter. He's won one game. That's tied for the worst record through 16 starts on the road since this stuff started getting tracked in 1950. Dan Pastorini was the last guy that did it. He was on the Oilers.
Was that this year?
The road win?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that. I know they've won at home. They beat Atlanta. They beat Dallas at home. And they'd been on the road. They got killed by New England. They got blown out. I'm not sure about
this is not complicated. This is not complicated. The Panthers are 3-3. They're playing good football.
Yeah, it's a little fishy.
And the Jets are terrible.
Yeah, no, it's just, I agree with you. I've had Carolina. I will be playing McMillan, the receiver. I think he's great, but
Dowdle.
I'm not risking one of our top 5 picks on this garbage game. I'm not doing it.
Okay. Yeah, but you were willing to do it like almost every week, and now you don't want to.
Only at home. Carolina at home I like, and a couple times we were forced into Carolina because they were the opposite. They were the survivor play, the anti-survivor. So that's why we were on them so much.
All right. It's a skip. It's fine. Let's go to, this is like a wild card game. Colts Chargers, first game in the late card, 4:00. Colts are getting 1.5. There's a lot of injuries in this game, I think, primarily for the Chargers. Let me just check this out. Quentin Johnson, questionable. Joe Alt, questionable. Ugh.
What's the line in this game?
1.5.
Justin, the Chargers are getting?
Colts are on the road. Chargers are laying 1.5. I think the Colts are relatively healthy.
Yeah, this game.
I already decided I'm not going to be betting this game. This is a game I really want to watch because I think it's a really, it's kind of like these are two like AFC wildcard teams. But I don't. It's a skip for me. It's just too tight. It's going to come down to likely a field goal. I don't see either team dominating. Kind of like the Colts a little bit. I think the Chargers got away with one last week. Oh, actually, that was the game. The Chargers played Miami, and they won the game at the buzzer by 2.
Yep.
Miami did not have a bye.
Right,
remember?
right.
We thought they had a bye. Okay,
Right.
so Miami lost. But yeah, I guess Chargers did enough to get the win, but they're banged up, and I keep flashing back to that loss to Washington the week before, or that Sunday night game. But I don't know. They've been a little sus with these injuries, and I don't know who their running back is, but not a huge fan. If anything, I lean Colts here, but I'll probably
skip. It's Vidal. I think it's that guy Vidal who I picked up last week. Had a huge fantasy week. He played really well in that game, and he took the job from the other kid. So he's going to start again. Again, the Joe Alt thing I think hurts them. I don't know about the Colts defense and their defensive line and their pressure situation, how good they are anyway. I know Franklin is great. The kid from Syracuse is the leader of their defense. Hard to bet against the Colts here, though. I mean, especially if they're getting points. The only thing, listen, the last time they went to LA, they obviously lost. You had the kid who dropped the ball before the end zone again.
Yep.
Stupid people doing dumb things. But
probably like this in a Wong teaser, yeah.
Yeah, but they're not favored, are they? Or are they getting points?
They're getting
points. Yeah. What's the total?
Indy is getting, Indy would be getting 7.5.
Is the total under 49?
Oh yeah, it's got to be. It's 48. Okay.
Yeah, I would do it. If the total stays under 49, I would take the Colts in a teaser plus 6.5, and I'd actually probably put them with Denver because you can't argue with Bo Nix in 6-point teasers as favorites. He's never lost the game in that scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So I would do that. And I think this could be a close game. I don't see a blowout here either way. I think the Colts are playing great football. I know they had a test against Arizona and Brissett, and they had to come back and win the game late, and they did. And, now they're back in the AFC. This is a tough matchup. I mean, this could be a playoff matchup, honestly. A wild card game. I could totally see this. So should be a close game. Steichen usually is better at the beginning of the year. He's 5-0 against the spread in September and October in these games. And, you know, especially after a loss against the spread, he's 5-0 against the spread. I'm sorry. They're 15-7 against the spread total in September and October since he became the coach. So he's doing a good job. I mean, and Daniel Jones has been great. So I'll take the Colts. I don't know about 1.5, but I would take him in a teaser for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the Giants, who are playing Denver, getting 6.5, 40.5. Man, it's a low total. I continue to think Denver's getting overvalued. I think this is too many. Giants really, did they win 2 in a row? 3 in a row, right? They beat the Saints.
They lost to the Saints.
Oh, sorry.
They turned it over 5 times
Oh,
against
right,
the Saints.
they beat the
Dart.
they,
You had
yeah.
Rattler. I paid you 20. And that was regrettable. But then they came back and smashed Philadelphia at home, and they were off extended rest. That hasn't really necessarily translated well in this spot for Dable.
But geez, Chell, 2 out of the last 3 weeks, they beat the Chargers and the Eagles. I mean, they're feeling good about themselves.
Totally agree with you. There's no question that you know, and both those games were at home. And when they went on the road, they lost to the Saints, and they lost to the Saints in embarrassing fashion. And now you're going into Denver, which is notoriously a difficult place to win, against a really well-coached team. Now, granted, they are coming home from London. That's probably a big disadvantage for them. When Sean Payton's teams are 22-8 against the spread, after his team scores fewer than 14 points in their previous game, including 4-0 against the spread with the Broncos. So he's been pretty good in this spot. Dable, the Giants are coming off a massive win at home against the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. After a straight-up win, Dable's Giants are 9-1 against the spread, but just 3-6 against the spread when the next game is on the road, including 1-8 straight up in those games, losing 8 in a row. So I would be very surprised if the Giants won this game. Can they cover the 7.5? Maybe, you know, because Dart and Scadaboo, maybe they can keep the game close.
6.5.
I would take this. Is it 7 or 7.5? I think it's 7.5, right?
6.5.
What?
Yeah. People are betting the Giants big time, hand over fist.
I love Denver in a teaser. Oh, they just, I might have to take out another line of credit.
Another marker, table 5.
Yeah. And I love Dart. And I just, you know, Dart has not proven it on the road. Obviously they're missing Neighbors. I love the Theo Johnson thing, but this is hard. I mean, it's hard to go into Denver. This is a non-conference game on the road. He's going to have a real hard time hearing stuff in that, you know, there. I mean, they're very loud there. I would be surprised if Dart comes home with this win. Really, really shocked. And I root for Dart. I love him. And I like the Giants. And you know me, they're my second team. But no way. 6.5. If I can get Denver in a teaser, and Bo Nix has made 24 career starts in the NFL as a favorite. He's 9-3 against the spread. In those 12 games, he is 12-0 in a 6-point teaser. The one thing Nix always does well is not get blown out. He's 22-2 in a 6-point teaser in his 24 career starts, covering the 6-point tease in his last 14 regular season games.
Wow.
I just don't see how you bet into that.
All right. I like the Giants. I keep thinking that Denver is just a little bit too overvalued. I thought it last week in London. I bet the Jets. You know, it's hard to, I don't know. It's hard to say what would have happened on that is a neutral field, but I just think these London games, it's hard to like pass judgment on what happens there. But I just feel like this is too many once again. And jury's still out for me on Bo Nix on whether he's actually good. I know he's
pretty good at home, and I think he's pretty good when he gets the ball to his playmakers. And I think Evan Ingram has emerged now. He's healthy. He's playing tight end for them. He made a lot of catches in London. I love Sutton. Your guy Franklin's been good, and they can run the ball. Their defense is ferocious. And I think this is Dart's going to have, you know, the Eagles defense, say what you want, is not the same as it was on their Super Bowl team. They've lost a lot of guys on the back end, the Giant pass rush, they're not getting to the quarterback. They don't get the sacks. And Denver, they kill the quarterback. So Dart's I have a feeling, going to turn the ball over in this game like a rookie would against a really good defense in their building. This is a huge step up in class for him. And I know that didn't go well for me when I said this in week 2 when Denver went to the Colts, and I thought the same about Daniel Jones, and I was wrong. The Colts ended up winning the game. If you remember, on that leverage thing that the Denver had. Actually, Denver had the game won, and they got a penalty on the field goal, the leverage thing. That's neither here nor there. Denver's defense is playing really, really good. It's going to be a hard game for Dart. I like Denver. I don't know about 6.5, but absolutely have to put them in a teaser without question.
Okay. Commanders, Cowboys. Washington's laying 1, coming off the tough loss in the rain Monday night. Dallas cannot play defense, even against Carolina. And I don't know what's this.
Do you blame that fumble on Jaden, or do you blame it on the running back?
I kind of thought it was the rain, and neither.
I thought it kind of
was a wet ball
out of Jaden's hand. I thought it was Jaden's fumble. It wasn't the kid. I don't think he ever got the ball into his belly.
Yeah. This is I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on this one. I kind of feel like Washington should win this game, but I don't entirely trust them right now. I don't know why. I just kind of feel like they're a little bit up and down. And Dallas, I love their offense, but man, it's just like they cannot stop anyone. What's the data say here?
The data is so crystal clear that Dallas is the play here that it's scary.
Is that right?
Yeah. Cowboys have covered the spread 7 of the last 8 games against the Commanders, including 4 straight covers at home. They're 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 versus Washington at home, games in Dallas. Dak Prescott's 10-3 against the spread versus Washington in his career. That is the best quarterback against the spread versus Washington in the last 20 years. He is 6-0 straight up and 5-1 against the spread at home against Washington. I love Dallas.
Yeah.
And I will be betting them. I've already been betting them.
Yeah,
I do think it'll probably be a high scoring game, but again, I'm so bad with totals. I don't try to predict what can happen with the points. But
I love
Dallas. Dallas this week. I think it's an easy play for us.
Really?
Yep. Silver platter play.
What about their defense? Doesn't scare you?
The defense is horrible, but I think they'll be able to outscore Washington. Washington's back end, I don't think, is very good. Chicago pretty much moved the ball at will on Washington.
Yeah, that was like on the pod last week. I was trying to get you because I knew Chicago was going to score.
Yeah, absolutely. I had Chicago in my bets, but I guess we didn't take them on the pod. But we went 4-1 anyway. But I will say, I do think, with Pickens is playing so well. I mean, I know Reed makes fun of me for calling him a quote unquote elite wide receiver, but boy, oh boy, has he been worth everything they gave him, especially with CD Lamb out. I mean,
I think he may be coming back, by the way.
Yeah, CD. I'm not sure, but Pickens has a touchdown in 5 straight games, the longest streak for any player this season. So he's doing his job. Dax plays great against Washington historically. He owns Washington. And I'm just going to ride that trend. Washington looked a little flawed to me the other night. Honestly, they just couldn't get it together against the Bears team, which I think is a mediocre football team, right? I mean, Washington's trying to prove themselves, and I think this was kind of predictable after the run they had, the way they beat the Lions. They forced the 6 turnovers in the playoffs, and they were kind of everyone's darling last year. And Jaden's had a tougher year. He missed some games with the knee. He's running too much. He's getting hit a lot. I think Washington's coming back to earth a little bit. And Dallas off a loss, which I actually pretty much called last week. I mean, I liked the other side of that game, Carolina at home. But I like Dallas. I think that's an easy one for us.
Yeah, I like it. You talked me into it. All right, Packers, Cardinals. I'm not sure if Kyler is starting. Packers laying 6.5 on the road and 45. Let me just check on that status. What do you think of this one?
Is Kyler going to play?
Well, I'm just checking on that. He's questionable. I mean, Brissett I said this last week. I thought Brissett was an upgrade. He
Mm-hmm.
limited practice on Wednesday. He still got the foot.
LaFleur is 16-2 against backup quarterbacks as a coach, but he's only 10-8 against the spread facing backups.
The other thing is Arizona, like Marvin Harrison, Michael Wilson, Zay Jones are all questionable.
Yeah, no, they're
Mercado and Knight both questionable. I mean, they have a my God, their entire offense is banged up.
Yeah, if I had to bet this game, which I don't, if I had to bet this game, which I don't, I would take Green Bay in the game. I don't know if Arizona is capable of hanging around the way they did in Indianapolis and having a lead into the fourth quarter the way they did. I don't imagine them being able to do that again, especially with the guys that you mentioned that are banged up. And listen, they've lost 4 straight games outright by 4 points or less. That hasn't happened all that often. In the wild card era, there's only been 7 other teams to lose 4 straight like that. In the next game, they went on to go 1-6 straight up and 2-5 against the spread. So when you lose a lot of these close games, you don't know, it's not like you just go on the road suddenly and smack somebody around. I mean, when you get loose to you losing these close games, it drags you down. I mean, it wears on you, and you could almost see it, especially last week. Like if they weren't going to win that game last week, the way they played with Brissett on the bounce back with the backup quarterback to go in there and steal a game, I don't know how they're going to win in Green Bay. I can't imagine it.
Well, they're at home. Remember that.
Oh, it's in Arizona?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
By the way, the Packers have 3 out of their 5 offensive linemen are questionable, banged. So they're.
I had this game as a skip because there is one data point there for Arizona with Jonathan Gannon with their bye week on deck. They're 2-0 straight up and against the spread, and they cover the spread, by a large margin in those games. But the conflicting data, I just throw it as a skip and don't bet it.
Yeah. Okay. I have a sick feeling Arizona is going to cover this game, but I wouldn't bet it. I definitely wouldn't bet it. Okay. Let's move on to the Sunday night game. Falcons 49ers, short week for Atlanta, coming off the Monday night win. They're getting 2. Just quick check on the quarterback situation for the 49ers is who's starting? They're both questionable, Purdy and Jones. So we have to wait and see there. But Jennings and Purcell also questionable. I mean, San Francisco continues to just be really banged up. I was so wrong about them last week. I thought they were totally going to be in that game against Tampa. They looked horrible. Baker looked great once again. So we'll have to wait and see here. But I like Atlanta as a dog, even though it's a short week. They looked great Monday night, and they're healthy. This is kind of like it's a good NFC game right here. I like the Falcons. What do you think?
Yeah, this one's I just have this as a skip game. I don't know. I know it's a night game, and everybody would want some sort of an opinion on it. In your corner, I will say that the surprising stat: teams coming off an outright win as a dog on primetime, like the Falcons did last week against the Bills, who play the following week in primetime again, are actually 27-20 straight up, 27-19-1 against the spread. That's a long history. It's a 20-year history there. So I'd take it for what it is. But those teams you would think in your mind would be at a disadvantage, to go on the road. Oh, we got to play on the road now on primetime. And you would think necessarily that was bad. It's not bad. It's actually been good. The one thing with the Falcons is, they haven't finished a season above 500 against the spread. They were 11-22-1 against the spread after a win since 2020. So they don't handle success well. They don't stack wins well against the spread. But in this point, aren't they getting points?
They are. They're getting 2.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, San Fran's been really, really bad. They really screwed me last week, and the Mac Jones threw a late interception in that game. That really hurt me for the cover. I'd have a hard time betting Atlanta here, despite the fact that I thought Drake London was amazing the other night. I love him as a receiver. And Penix really did show me something. Atlanta's got a good defense at home. But, then I always think, like, they went to Carolina in week 2 and lost 20-0 to Carolina. So, like, they're capable of, like, on the road laying an egg.
Yeah.
and they seem to do it a lot of times on grass, on a slower surface, So I wouldn't trust this game. I don't like this game. I hope we don't have to take it.
Okay.
So that's
Let's keep our eye. Yeah, I like Atlanta, but that's only if
you could,
these San Francisco injuries are like really stacked up. But
yeah.
if Purdy's playing and like one of these receivers comes back and like them coming off a loss and coming home and then Atlanta the short week, then I'm suddenly like not that into it.
I'll tell you what I could be coerced into is taking Atlanta up to 8 on
Right.
a teaser, and either putting them with Denver for sure. I would put them with. There's my teaser right there. So that's the way I would play that.
Okay. Let's move on. We got a doubleheader Monday night. First game would be good if Tampa didn't have all these injuries, but it's the Bucks at Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit coming off a tough loss in KC, where I backed them, and they got some questionable calls. And then, of course, KC didn't get a single call against them. And the Bucks getting 5.5. That seems like a lot, but I mean, with all these injuries, let me just check in and see who practiced today. I kind of like Detroit in this game. I think that maybe might be time for. I mean, Baker can do a lot, but can he do this? Bucky Irving's out, Evans, Godwin, Ibuka out. How can he win without those guys?
I like the Lions here. I don't know what else can be said. I mean, they're coming off a disappointing loss to Kansas City. I think that was a game that I knew they were going to lose. Had Kansas City big, tried to get you there. I know you couldn't get there. I know you love Detroit there. I think Detroit in this game, obviously the total is going to be very high. Dan Campbell and Goff off a loss as a duo have won and covered 11 in a row, dating back to November of 22. They're getting a banged up team. I love Baker as much as anybody. Too much here. I would lay the points. I would take the regular season. Goff is 19-3 straight up as a favorite in night games, including 9-0 straight up with the Lions. So I just think, Goff always is a favorite.
Yeah.
I like Detroit.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Tampa's defense is good against the run, terrible against the pass, I believe, but overall still ranked 17th. I mean, they're just not a very good defense to come in and play Detroit with all this injury.
If Tampa Bay was a healthy team, if they had Evans and Godwin and Ibuka and Bucky Irving, and they were coming in here, first of all, the line wouldn't be what it is, and second of all, I'd give them a chance on the money line to win the game. But
and I actually think. Yeah, I actually think that'll be that's potentially a game that we'll see this year in the playoffs. And I would see it like, like if Tampa wins the division and Detroit has a number 1 seed and they have to, get a win first, and then they come here and play this game again, in January, then Tampa will be getting 3. And I agree with you. They could win the game.
What is the line in this game?
5.5.
One stat I think is interesting. Couple things with the Buccaneers. Baker is 16-8 against the spread as an underdog. When Baker starts, the Bucs are 22-2 in a 6-point teaser when listed as an underdog. So here you're getting 11.5. If you think Baker can hang in and keep it close, 11.5 is a big number. Get you over the 10, which is a critical number, of course. Since joining Tampa, Baker is the most profitable quarterback against the spread as an underdog in the league. Again, it's an injury thing. I mean, I would be all over this with Tampa if they were not injured. I just don't know how he's going to get if anybody can do it, I guess it's him. But this is a tall order to go in on a night game, to go in and beat Goff and Campbell in their own building, especially with them off a loss.
My feeling exactly. Even for Baker.
Yeah.
All right. Last game of the week, we got Houston coming off a bye, going to Seattle, coming off that nice win in Jacksonville for us last week. Texans are getting 3. Total is 41. It's low. Houston had 2 really nice wins in a row, but they were against Baltimore and Tennessee. So it's sort of like they've been slapping around teams that are either awful or just totally beat up. And before that, we knew what they looked like. They didn't look good. And Seattle's essentially, you can make an argument that they're the best team in the league. At least according to DVOA, I'm pretty sure they're number 1, but I kind of like Seattle in this game because of everything that I just said. What does the number say?
Listen, I get what you're saying. First of all, Texans are on 15 days rest. That's a lot coming in here. Seattle went to Jacksonville. They fly home. We talked about this many times. We all had Seattle last week as one of our best bets. They're amazing on the road. They're not very good at home. They're just 4-8 straight up and 3-9 against the spread. Texans are getting 3.5. Texans are on 15 days rest. Teams with that much rest are 20-11 against the spread when playing on the road. That goes back 20 years. So they do well in this spot. D'Amico Ryans has coached 6 games with extended prep time, all 6 with CJ Stroud at quarterback. They're 3-3 straight up and 4-2 against the spread, but they're 2-0 against the spread when they're underdogs. I like Houston. I don't like Seattle at home. I think that perceived home field advantage that Brad always talks about under this coach does not exist. I think that is a complete fairy tale. And I love Seattle on the road. Like I said last week, they're road warriors. I won't bet them at home, especially against a team like this who has a really good defense. I mean, the guy Anderson on Houston might be my favorite defender in the league other than TJ Watt. He's unblockable. And I just don't know. I love Jackson Smith and Jigba, but they have Stingley Jr. They're going to play him on him. They're going to shut him down. 3.5. Texans should cover that.
Okay. I don't agree. I feel like we're going to see the bad version of this team again against this team in this building on Monday night on national TV. And we're going to see that like awful offense that we saw the first 3 weeks of the year. And I know despite the rest, I don't think we're going to see good CJ. I think we're going to see bad CJ.
Texans are allowing 12 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
Darnold actually does very well, ironically, against teams that are that stingy on defense. In his career, he's 14-7 straight up, 13-6-2 against the spread when he faces a defense allowing 20 points per game or less.
Yeah.
So,
I think they have what they need anyway.
Straight up in those games, the games he's lost to, the quarterbacks he's lost to, those 4 games are Goff, Brady, Lamar Jackson, and Phillip Rivers. Other than that, he's won 14 games in this spot straight up. But I just think I think the rest is a big thing. And I'm just have not been impressed with Seattle at home for whatever reason. I know they blew out the Saints in that game. They got all sorts of turnovers and fumbled kicks and fluky stuff. I'm not saying that Houston is a juggernaut, but I feel like coming off the rest, I think they should be able to cover 3.5 points.
Okay. We disagree. Yeah. Seahawks so healthy. Walker, Charbonnet, Smith and Jigba, Kupp, Barner. I mean, it's going to be tough.
Barner's really great.
Yeah.
Ruben hit that bet first touchdown. Barner paid paid a fortune.
That's great. All right, everyone. That's week 7 forecast and preview picks and analysis from Jack and Cello. Thanks for joining us this week. Good luck with all your action. Kicking it off tomorrow night with a good AFC North battle with your Steelers against Cincy. I still can't get there with Cincy, but maybe I can once we have a little sidebar.
The numbers say Cincy covers this game. This has been a real struggle for Tomlin in his career. Thursday night games on the road, he's just not good. So I don't know why you always say that. Huh?
You always say that. You said it last year in the Cleveland game, and he got blown out. This is another one.
I know. I'm telling you. I mean, I'm not saying. Listen, I hate to root for these teams in my division, but this has always been historically a tough spot. We're 4. I mean, the Steelers are 4-1. I mean, you ask yourself, do they look like a 4-1 football team to you?
Not really.
Yeah, and they're laying 5.5 on the road on a Thursday night on a short week with a 40-year-old quarterback. I mean, I'm not saying they can't win. I hope they do, obviously, but this is a tough one for Tomlin and this team to get ready to play this game, in my opinion. I also think the Raiders are a gift at getting this many points against KC. They historically struggle with the Raiders. He's lost twice to them outright as large favorites. The whole country is going to be on Kansas City and Survivor. Make sure you guys take the Raiders with some of your units, I would think. And we also like the Saints. We like the Rams to get it done against Jacksonville. You like Cleveland. I like Miami. We both kind of like Minnesota small. Put Denver in a teaser. Let's pound Dallas at home against Washington. And there was another teaser, Atlanta, perhaps. I didn't have it
No,
on
I
my
think that
card,
was
but
5. I think that was probably 5 right there. If you get me to Cincy and
Cincy, Rams, Saints, Raiders, Dallas.
mhm. Okay,
Sounds
we'll
great.
see. We'll see.
All
We'll
right,
watch
brother.
the injuries. All right,
Yes, sir.
everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and good luck with your action this weekend. Still time to join the World Series League while we are into the ALCS, NLCS. There's only 5 of us in the league. It's only
I'm
20
sitting
bucks.
up top there. I'm waiting for people to blow up.
Yeah. Oh, did the game start? I wanted to bet on Seattle tonight.
Oh, yeah. Are they up 2-0, right?
Yeah, I don't know what
You
time it
got to like
starts.
Toronto.
They're
You
like a
got to have
slight
Toronto in one
favorite.
of these games.
I don't know about that.
Really?
All right, bud. Good show, everybody. Good luck with your action this weekend. We'll see you next week.
Great job. Good luck, everybody.